Welcome back with a smiling face. Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Secrets of the Fallen Heart. Episode 3. Chapter 18. I slowly wake up, not because of an alarm, but feeling the warm sunshine on me. I stay eyes closed a few more minutes. I feel like I had the best sleep in a long time. I sigh and open my eyes drowsily. I'm in the suite. Suddenly, memories from last night all come back at once. I met with Elena again. And I sit up immediately and look around me, looking for her, thinking she's asleep beside me. But she's not. I'm alone in the bed. Could she be in the bathroom then? I get up and hurry there, but she's not in here either, or anywhere else in the room. Her clothes are gone. She's gone. I sit back on the bed, sighing. What was I expecting? I frantically look for her, but of course, she would be gone. What was I hoping for? I reminisce about last night. Moon Goddess, that was the best night I ever had. I massage my shoulder, a bit sore. Sure, that was exhausting, but I feel excited just thinking about it. It was. I might just get addicted to that girl's body. The way she reacted to my moves, her voice, her breathing, everything was so perfect. I lost control and lost myself in her over and over. How many times did we even do it? I'm not that eager usually, but Moon Goddess, last night I was one hell of a hungry wolf. Wanting more, taking more, I just couldn't stop myself. It's all way too vivid in my memories, every second of it. I need to stop thinking about it. I decide to take a cold shower, trying to calm my emotions and my body down. We had S*X there too. Counting again, we did it once here, 3 times on the bed. It's like being back in my teenage years again. Did my alpha gene intervene somehow? I felt strangely stronger, better than usual. Like all my fatigue has been washed away, even now. Thinking about it, I barely slept 3 or 4 hours. I feel so high I could run the marathon. But instead of running, I should get to the office. Well, mostly to check up on Damian. I try to mind-link my brother, but a wave of anger suddenly hits me, so hard I almost stumble in the bathroom. What? Damian? Where are you? This ice-cold tune of his is no good, ever. I try to think of what he could be mad about, but nothing comes to mind. At one of the hotels. What? Come here. Right now. And with that, he cuts the mind link there. I feel like a kid who is about to get severely punished. What is wrong with him? I try gathering my clothes, which mysteriously spread out in the apartment last night. That won't do, though. I need something clean. I go for the wardrobe, where I store some brand new stuff for times like these. I knew I was paying this bedroom suite for something. I come twice to 4 or 5 times a week anyway, and I can't drop by my place every time I sleep overnight. Though I usually don't. Now that I think about it, this was a first too. Sleeping beside someone. I typically leave after I'm done, or my partner does. But I guess, after last night, I wasn't ready to let go, and none of us were in a condition to leave either. Here I go, thinking about last night again. Focus, man. I randomly pick an outfit and get dressed in a hurry. I leave the hotel, wondering what does Damian wants with me right now. He sounded pretty angry. At a red light, I take out my tie and throw it on the passenger's seat. I put it on by reflex, but now that I think about it, I would rather not have him hang me with it. A few minutes later, I'm in the office's parking. I hurry up and walk to the elevators, but I'm surprised by Neil waiting for me when the doors open on the designated floor. Why are they all wearing freaking suits, even on weekends? Don't they ever relax? Neil is also clean-shaved, both his hair and beard. Looking tired as usual, my brother's beta sees me and sighs. What does he want? I ask as we start walking side by side to the office. It's about Liam. We've lost him again, and the guys said he was last seen with you at the Rain. I forgot about Liam. I took him with me last night, and we went inside the nightclub together, but the truth is, I totally forgot about my little brother the second I spotted Elena discussing with that asshole. Damian is going to give me hell for that. I enter the office to immediately meet my brother's ice-cold, silvery glare. It's like being pierced with blades of steel. I avert my eyes by mere instinct. I may be an alpha too, but Damian's not the king for nothing. He looks as imposing as usual, wearing a jet black suit from head to toe. Where have you been? At the hotel. He growls, unhappy. He knows that means I spent the night with someone and most likely ditched our little brother for that. I sigh and try to make up for it. I'll go find Liam. He always reappears near the Purple Pack territory anyway. And he's a grown-up now, Damian, stop treating him like a baby. Nothing would happen to him here. I'm answered with an angry growl again. My brother and his temper. I'm the judge of that, Nate. If I say I want Liam where I can see him, that's exactly where he should be. Then go look for him yourself. Don't have me babysit him. I growl out of anger. I'm so fed up with his control freak attitude. He wants to know each step we take, everything we do, even now that we're adults. I know our past put a lot on his shoulders, but things have changed, he should let us breathe a little. Sometimes, I even can't help but wonder if he's not so controlling with Liam and me just to compensate the fact he can't protect his lost fated mate. Of course, my words only make him angrier. My brother growls back, and I increase the volume too. But suddenly, the door opens again, and Liam walks in out of the blue. Is he kidding me? That brat. Hey, calm down guys. Why are you fighting so early in the morning? He asks. Because of you, where have you been? I growl after him. He shrugs. Come on, I spend a night out, and you guys are already fighting? You both need to cool off, what's with that brat's attitude? He's the reason we're fighting because he's always running away. I growl at him, but I'm surprised to hear Damian do precisely the same thing. Guess I'm not the only one pissed with Liam's recklessness for once. Since both us are scolding him, our little brother looks down, finally submitting. He puts his hands in his sweater's pockets, looking regretful for once. That's enough for me, though I wish we would learn and not do it again. Ahem, so. Did you think about my idea? I frown. What idea is Liam talking about? Damian crosses his arms. Apparently, he knows what our youngest is thinking of. Did I miss something? Liam notices my confusion and rolls his eyes. About visiting the other clans? Like, officially, to look for Damian's girl. Oh, right, I forgot about that idea. I take a glimpse of Damian, and he's frowning. Is he considering the idea? Years of Liam sneaking into other territories and me looking everywhere I could go in the open didn't help at all. I want to leave that decision to him, but there's this little, disturbing idea in the back of my mind, whispering something. That maybe, just maybe, if Damian let us do that, I might have the occasion to see Elena again. I know I shouldn't. A one-time thing, that's it. That's what we agreed on. Nothing more. I see Damian's hesitating, considering the idea. I hate myself because I know what I want him to say. Nate, what do you think? Don't ask me. But he's waiting for my opinion, and I know he'll listen and consider it, as always. I sigh and scratch my beard. This is not a wrong decision. I mean, even without Elena, I would have considering this annoying, but for Damian and his mate's sake, I would probably have agreed to it anyway. But now, I'm not sure my answer is so reasonable and innocent. It's not even been a few hours, I want to see her again, I know it in my guts. I think it's worth trying. We can give it a shot. I hate myself for thinking this. It's physical, magnetic, but it's not what I had planned. I had said one night, and here I am, creating an occasion to meet her again. It's not only about agreeing to Liam's plan, because I have no obligation to go myself. But I know I will if I have a chance to see her. Next to us, Liam claps, obviously very satisfied. That brat. He has no idea what turmoil I'm in right now. Damian nods. All right. You take care of it, Nate. If you find her, tell me. Immediately. I put my fingers in my hair, trying to keep my composure. I want to run to the White Moon territory right away, and it's bothering me. I turn to Neil, trying to calm down and think rationally, not listening to my body's instincts. Can you organize that? A dinner or something, with their alpha. Their territory, their rules. We don't need to bring a lot of people. Efficient as always, Neil is already taking notes on his phone. I bet he will have it all planned within a few days. A few days. I leave my brothers quickly enough and hurry out of the building. I mind-link my beta Isaac, trying to hide my inner turmoil. Isaac, you free for a workout? Right now? Why not, boss, what do you wanna do? Anything. Oh, need to cool off? What happened? I hesitate for a while. Isaac knows me by heart, and he can sense something's off with me. But I don't feel like sharing anything with anyone right now. Nothing. See you at the dojo. Roger that. Speeding up, I try to clear my thoughts. What's wrong with me? It was one night, with a girl I barely know. I just know her name and a couple of details about her. I never needed more. Anytime I ked with someone, it was only that, and we would part right after to never see each other again. Of course, I've had more regular partners, but there were no feelings involved, no longing. What is it about Elena that makes me lose my mind like this? It's only been a few hours, and I'm almost freaking desperate to see her again. I reminisce everything about last night, but it's like a dream. Everything was perfect. If I didn't remember it all so clearly, I would think I've been drugged or something. But I still can see it all too clearly. Elena's deep amber eyes, the slight tan of her skin, her light pink lips. The way she blushed softly every time I touch her. And her scent, so alluring. The way she moved with me, naturally yet terribly seductive. I shake my head. I'm going crazy. She's not even my mate, how can I feel so attracted by someone? I should stay calm and reasonable, forgetting about this and not thinking twice about it. But, I am, and more than twice. I finally parked in front of the dojo, and see Isaac's bike arriving too. I need to cool off. Train a bit, sweat it out, and put those thoughts behind me before I see her again. Chapter 19. Eventually, Daniel convinced me to have fun. Let it all go, dance until my feet were sore and let my thoughts drown into a glass of margarita. Several of them, actually. Enough to explain this morning's mild headache. I massage my neck, and get up from my bed, grabbing my kimono. It's a fancy, hot pink, but I love the embroidered flowers and the feel of silk on my bare skin. Danny gave it to me for Christmas last year, and I always wear it on the weekend, especially on hot Sundays. I hear some rummaging in the kitchen. What is he doing? I exit my bedroom and walk barefooted to our kitchen. To my surprise, it's not Daniel who's being noisy, but a big, dark guy standing in the middle of the room. Oh my gosh, I didn't think his man would still be here. I came home earlier and barely heard them coming back last night. He spots me, standing at the doorstop, and smiles. Good morning, Elena. Ahem, morning. I'm standing there, flustered to be facing an almost stranger in a simple kimono that barely covers until my thighs, with my messy hair all over the place. It would probably even more awkward if he didn't have this warm smile. Instead, he is acting natural, walking around in our kitchen as if he'd been there before. I walk up to the kitchen counter and sit on a stool, a bit amused. There are a bunch of new ingredients on our kitchen counter. Did he buy groceries? I bought coffee. I didn't know what you guys drank, so I took several. Really? I take a look at the paper cups he pushes in front of me. He took 4 of them, macchiato, black, latte and tea. Gosh, we have a coffee maker. So cute, though. I grab the macchiato one. He likes his coffee as dark as possible, I tell him with a smile. Big boy nods. Noted. I look at him cooking something with all his ingredients. I'm not a good cook, so I'm just impressed to see him doing all this so early in the morning. There are eggs, milk, sugar. Is he making a cake? I want to ask, but I suddenly realize. What was his name again? Boyan? Oh right, he said to call him Bobo. Even his name is nice and easy to remember. I lean over the counter to take a peek at whatever is on the stove. What are you cooking, Bobo? Crepes. I don't cook much, but this one recipe is easy. My nieces love it. You have nieces? I ask, interested. He nods with a smile, still focused on his pan. Yes, twins. They are 4 years old, my brother's kids. He seems so genuinely happy while talking about those children, my heart melts. He bought coffee, cooks breakfast for us, loves kids, is super friendly, polite, and he's even good looking. Danny, you better hold on to this one. You have other flatmates? I take a sip of coffee and answers him, a bit surprised by the question. No, it's just Danny and me. We started renting this place about 2 years ago now. Daniel wanted a place quieter than his parents' house and well, let's say I was at a time where I needed a fresh start. He nods and grabs the butter. I appreciate that he doesn't ask more than this. I wouldn't want someone to get nosy about my complicated past. Now that I think about it, those events are already 2 years behind. A shiver runs down my spine. Moon goddess, I never want to see that guy ever again. Me and my delusions. I sigh, and Bobo notices it. With a smile, he doesn't say anything and just hands me a crepe. Surprised, I hesitate a second and take it. Oh my, this is so good. He just put lemon and sugar in it, but it's deliciously hot, and the lemon sourness and the sugar sweetness melt in my mouth. Moon goddess, this is so good. Can't I just eat it all before Danny wakes up? I ask while licking the juice on my fingers. He laughs. I'll make enough for the two of you, don't worry. Indeed, there is already a good pile. How many is that? 30 or so. There is enough for the whole floor. Too hungry to resist, I grab another one. So, Bobo, what's your story? What pack are you from? I've never seen you around. The purple moon. He shakes his head and flips up another crepe. The blood moon. I almost spit out my coffee. Seriously. The blood moon. Of all clans, he's from the king's pack? Moon goddess. That guy's not even supposed to be there. You okay? He asks, seeing me coughing miserably. Who cares? The blood moon, seriously? Bobo, you shouldn't be here, what if our pack members find out? But he shakes his head, very calm, handing me a napkin to clean the mess I just made on my chin and on the kitchen counter. Don't worry, your alpha agreed for me to be here. I came to deliver a message from my boss. How can he be so calm? His boss is no other than the king. Once I'm done wiping off the coffee from my mouth and chin, I put down my cup and frown. Can I ask what message? Nothing big or secret. He just wants to meet your alpha, Clark Hamilton. He's looking for someone. While saying those last few words, Bobo's green eyes suddenly darkened. The Alpha King is looking for someone? Who could it be? Judging from Bobo's expression, it's not about just a fight or any simple issue. I wonder what kind of person is the king looking for? So, does the king want to come here? Mr. Black. It feels odd to call him that. Not only because it's Nathaniel's brother, but because, well, nobody really uses his name. He's just referred to as the king whenever he's mentioned, from what I know. Since there are 3 black brothers, it's easier to, and who would be bold enough to call his first name? Which I don't even know. Actually, he's just so feared that most people avoid talking about him anywhere. His influence is just that impressive. But Bobo shakes his head. No, not the boss directly. His brothers will come in his stead. He doesn't really like to meet with people. I freeze almost immediately. Bobo doesn't notice, but I'm just petrified there, and my mind enters a turmoil of emotions. Oh, Moon Goddess! Nathaniel might come here, on our territory. Nate. Here. Those 2 words put me in confusion, I can't even formulate. What am I thinking? Once again, I'm flooded with memories of our night together. Don't, Elena. Stop reminiscing, this is stupid. It doesn't mean anything. Just because he's coming to the White Moon territory doesn't mean I'll necessarily meet him again. There is no guarantee. I breathe in and take a big mouthful of coffee. I burn the tip of my tongue, but who cares? I need to cool down those thoughts. Good morning, Daniel, who was walking in, just spotted Bobo and froze instantly, visibly shocked. I see his gaze go to Bobo, then to me, and to Bobo again. It's like I can hear his brains break down from here. Yep, he obviously had no idea Bobo was. Well, still there. Then, after a second of embarrassing silence, Bobo walks up to him with a smile and kisses him like it's totally natural for them. I see Daniel's eyes grow bigger, and the next second, his face is red as a tomato. Good morning, says Bobo with his disarming smile. Gee, good mo. Morning, stutters Daniel. I can't help but chuckle behind my cup, and despite my attempt to pass it as a cough, my best friend sends me a deathly glare. Don't you dare! Not my fault, you two are so adorably cute. Seriously, Danny, if you could see your face right now. Shut it. He ignores me and walks very awkwardly to the available stool next to me. Once again, I have to repress a laugh. Daniel's gait says a lot. Not that I didn't have my suspicions, though, the walls of our apartment are quite thin. I can't resist teasing him, and my best friend has to ignore my intense suspicious staring to address Bobo. What? What are you making? Crepes. Here. He hands a plate to Daniel. His breakfast is nicely put with a little pile of crepes, and he even has a strawberry on top. Moon goddess, how can Boyan be so adorably cute and obvious? He's even looking at Daniel with those ravishing green eyes. I can see my best friend's blushing to his ear's end, while I'm struggling not to gloat. Thank you, Daniel's voice is as tiny as a mouse. I finally have some pity for him and hand him the cup of black coffee. Meanwhile, I turn to Bobo with a smile. I'll go get changed. Thank you for the crepes, Bobo, loved it. You're welcome. There's more if you want it. I give him a wink, grab my last one and finally leave them alone, headed for the bathroom. Now that I don't have Daniel's silly embarrassed face to entertain me, I'm suddenly left with the news. Nate is coming to our territory. How am I supposed to react to that? I let the cold water wash away the last effects of alcohol and my thoughts. I shouldn't think about this. Even if we had a great time together, that's it. I shouldn't hope for more. Move on, Elena, don't start making the same mistakes again. I won't go. I won't be at the meeting, or near the main house. Let's not create occasions, it would only create more confusion, right? I need to be reasonable. Remember what Reagan always taught you. The first thing you need to strengthen is your own mind. Don't be stupid, Elena, don't fall for it. Don't make another mistake over fleeting feelings. I walk to my room to change and hear Nate and Bobo casually chatting in the living room. I hope this pair works it out somehow. Even if Bobo is from the Blood Moon. I realize Daniel probably doesn't know either. This will definitely be an issue later, but for now, I want him to enjoy this a bit longer too. I find a pair of shorts and a tank top. I don't intend to wear them long anyway, I need a good run, in my wolf form. I quickly say goodbye to the guys and leave the apartment. Sunday mornings are usually quiet in our neighborhood. Those who aren't sleeping are enjoying a family breakfast or at church. I walk down a few empty streets, enjoying the early sunshine. What time is it anyway? Around 9 apparently. I regret a bit not taking more of Bobo's crepes, the sweet smells of the Montero bakery wakes my wolf's appetite. I keep walking until I reach the border, where the White Moon territory stops and the northern forest begins. A dense, vast forest reaching further than the eye can see. I've always loved running in the woods, running as far as I can. I take a few steps past the treeline, and take off my clothes, putting in between tree branches. Stretching a bit, I shape-shift into my wolf form. An intense feeling of satisfaction runs through my skin as I get on all fours. Moon goddess, I love being a werewolf. I started running casually, just headed north as usual. Why am I always so attracted to the north? It's an odd feeling. Like something's there, something waiting for me. Something I've forgotten, maybe. I keep running, chasing a few rabbits for play, and climbing and jumping rocks for fun. I come across a couple of wolves, probably lovebirds who spent the night out. Are they hiding their idol from their packs? I don't recognize them, but they stay far from me, so I just keep running my own way. The feuds between the packs make it so hard to interact nowadays. Silver City is only a few centuries old, but some packs have fought so many times, they can't even see eye to eye. Thus, bonding or marriage between wolves of different packs is always a complicated topic. Sometimes, the lovers are lucky enough that both clans tolerate each other, and one of the pair can change their allegiance to join their mate's pack. But I've only heard about this, I've never witnessed it myself. Having S*X with Nate was totally forbidden. If my alpha heard of it, I don't even want to think about it. Nathaniel is his own alpha, so he probably would have a different kind of pressure about that. Maybe from his older brother, the king. I slow down, I've come to an edge, with a splendid view of the forest below. If only we were. No, stop, Elena. No ifs. Just face reality. This is never happening again. Chapter 20. I stay a long time there, thinking about it. I don't know why I'm getting my hopes up all of a sudden, but I just can't. I have enough trouble in my life like this. My eyes wander on the horizon, looking for answers. Where did I come from? I was about 3 years old when Reagan brought me before Clark Hamilton, the new alpha of the White Moon. He saw me, a strange child who turned out to be an obvious alpha she-wolf. With amber eyes and white fur. I learned later that it was an unusual combination. Something that reminded others of royal families of werewolves, like ones none had seen in a very, very long time. But my fur wasn't completely white like the legends, neither did I have blue eyes. Mine were definitely amber. Yet, my strange appearance and alpha disposition raised suspicions. I couldn't be raised among ordinary wolves. So, Clark found a young alpha couple to raise me. My adoptive father, Samuel Whitewood, was the younger brother of Xavier Whitewood, the leader of the Pale Moon, a branch of the White Moon that had just been created. My mother, Ivy Whitewood, was young and pretty but had not been able to conceive children yet. She was the one who approached Clark, asking the alpha to let her take me in. He agreed, and the whole pack accepted me as their child. However, no matter how good the pack treated me, I always felt I was different from my peers. I was stronger than the kids my age. I was faster. I shape-shifted for the first time when I was 5. No one had ever seen such young shape-shifting. I was the best hunter, the best fighter among all the young of the pack. With my alpha blood, and Reagan training me, there was no way anyone else could keep up. Sadly, that also meant I was naturally ostracized by the other pups. I didn't really mind, though. The others couldn't pick on me, as I was strong and an alpha's daughter. I had Daniel, too, the only other kid that didn't blend in. Hey, look who's there! I turn around, surprised to see another wolf here. The dark grey male joins me, playfully pushing my side with his nose. Hi, Levi! Long time no see, beautiful. What are you doing here? I needed some fresh air. What about you? Patrol duty. Where's my little brother? He's at home. Did he tell you? Our mom wants to see you at brunch. Oh right. Yeah, sure, I'll come. I miss her cooking. You better. We chit-chat for a few minutes. Levi is the oldest of Daniel's siblings, and I consider him my brother too. He's a few years older than me, and one of the only people in the pack strong enough for me to really train with. Levi? Have you heard about the blood moon coming? Among the Lewis children, Levi was the only one born with a beta aura, which is unusual for a pup born of two regular werewolves. But it suits his big brother attitude and personality, though. Hence, he became a close aide of the White Moon Beta, and might even be a candidate to take over her position someday. He agitates his ears, looking for something unusual far away. I already know it's not a threat but a couple of deers. After a few seconds, he growls. Yeah. A big guy came yesterday to talk to Clark. They say they just want to visit. Sounds fishy, but our alpha probably won't refuse. If we anger them. I heard they are looking for someone. He turns to me, surprised. Hey? How do you know that? I actually met the guy last night, at Pepe's. He said the Blood King is looking for someone. I don't think they mean trouble. Interesting. What did Clark say? Levi shrugs. You know him, he said he'll think about it. He never takes rash decisions. But Xavier is pushing him to accept. No surprise there. For some reason, my uncle is always willing to find new allies for our clan, though I doubt that's what the Blood Moon really is after. I heard you met with old Reagan too. How do you know? She made a fuss with Xavier last night. About your dad. That granny is really scary when she's mad. Xavier couldn't even talk back to her. I don't often see him getting reprimanded like this, it was funny. Well, she's a stray, so she doesn't really care about the alpha hierarchy I guess. I never thought my uncle Xavier was very imposing, to begin with. I can barely feel his alpha aura. Compared to a regular alpha like my dad, he was definitely weaker. The only reason Clark chose him to be the alpha of the Pearl Moon instead of my father was that he was the oldest brother. No wonder he always had an inferior complex. Levi, how far have you gone to the north? Flustered by my abrupt question, he gazes towards that direction, sighing. About 20 miles, I'd say. We never crossed the river, even when hunting. Clark won't allow it, and it's too far from our territory. Besides, it's only snow most of the time, nothing much to hunt. I just nod. Levi's answer is as I expected. I've never been past the river, either. In winter, the snow progresses past it, and the cold freezes the river enough for someone to cross it, but like Levi said, there probably isn't much life after that border. Still thinking about it, huh? As always, Levi knows what I'm thinking about. He gives me a gentle push with his head against my shoulder. Don't worry, beautiful. One day you'll find your answers. Reagan is just one stubborn old lady. Wanna come with me? We could make a run to the river, see if, well, we find anything. Thanks, Levi, but we already did that about 10 times, and never found anything. I don't think it's worth the trouble. Reagan is the only one who knows what I should look for, and as long as she isn't willing to talk. I sigh, a bit depressed by that thought. But it's the truth. No matter how many times Daniel, his siblings, and I ran through that forest, we never found a single clue about my past. We didn't have any, to begin with. The only thing we ever learned from Reagan was that I came from the north, and that was it. Levi sighs too next to me. I'm sure she's got her reasons, Elena. Reagan is a smart, kick-ass oldie. She'll tell you when the time is right. And anyway, you've got us, okay? I nod. I'm so grateful for Daniel's family. Since I was young, they treated me like family, all of his siblings, and his parents. After my parents' accident, they supported me all the way, even if I was an emotional mess. Levi pushes me playfully, and I growl back, playing along. We play fight for a few minutes, then we both start running and chasing each other. Our race takes us to another group of patrollers from our pack, and I end up spending the rest of my morning with them, catching up with those I haven't seen in a while, playing tag or patrolling with them. When we get back to the White Moon territory, I follow Levi to the main house. It's an old building, sitting on a high hill of the Hispanic neighborhood. The colors on the building have faded away, leaving a reddish clay apparent, though one of the regular punishments for the young ones is to paint the shutters, leaving them always perfectly white. It's a nice contrast, making the house really visible from anywhere around. When Levi and I step in, back to our human appearances after we fetched our clothes, a teenager is busy repainting them with a grumpy face. We walk in casually and get a warm welcome from everyone in the room. Elena, mi amor, it's been a while. You're such a pretty me Karina. Look at her. Que hermosa eres. Come here, say hi to this old uncle. I hug and say hi to everyone there, mostly adults who saw me grow up, friends or family to the Alpha. I feel a bit guilty for not coming more often, but this warm atmosphere reminds me a lot of my parents, and I feel a bit uncomfortable with it. Thankfully, Levi never leaves my side, even putting an arm casually around my shoulders to take me to the kitchen. There, we come across Ben, another one of the Lewis siblings. Hey, Levi, how was patrol? Anything new? Hi, Elena. You coming for brunch? Hi, Ben. Yes, I am. Where is your other half? He smiles at me. Bonnie's helping Mom cook. They are both super excited since Rachel's back. What about Danny? He will probably join us there. I hope he does. It would be super awkward to have to explain to his mom and all 5 siblings he's missing their traditional family brunch because of his love interest. But Benjamin doesn't notice my hesitation and starts talking to his brother about the patrol. Meanwhile, I decide to mind-link Daniel since it's almost noon now. Danny? What about brunch? I'm coming, babe. Are you okay? His inner voice seems a bit weaker than usual. Like he's sad or something. But he brushes my question away. I'm fine. See you there. He doesn't sound fine, I know my Danny. Did something happen with Bobo? Everything seemed alright when I left this morning. Elena. Ben and Levi noticed my expression, and the 2 redheads are staring at me with worried faces. I try not to give too much away and smile. Daniel said he's coming for the brunch. Oh, yeah. The whole fam in the house. Says Ben, overexcited. He runs past us to leave the Alpha's house, headed for their home. He shapeshifts halfway, ruining his clothes in the process. Levi growls after the Red Wolf. Seriously, Ben? Mom's going to get mad. But his younger brother is already gone. I help him gather the scraps of clothes. Out of the 4 Lewis boys, Ben is definitely the mischievous one. While Bonnie, his twin sister, is shy and quiet, he's the exact opposite. A real tornado. Levi is rumbling about his brother's carelessness when I suddenly hear someone calling me. Look, who's there? I turn around. Clark? The Alpha himself, smiling at me with his arms wide open. I can't resist and run to him, giving him a big hug. I haven't seen him in days. He laughs and hugs me back, with his arms almost crushing me until he lets go to look at me. There she is. How come you never stop by to see your godfather, hey? Sorry. Here's another reason why Uncle Xavier doesn't like me. I'm one of the Alpha's 3 godchildren, and in our world, that also means I'm a potential successor to the White Moon clan's lead. Clark's wife died before she could give him any children, and hence, no one can predict who will succeed him. Elena, I need you here next Friday. Next Friday? What is this? Clark usually never asks me to attend all the meetings, I just come when I want to or not. But I realize 1 second too late what this is about. You may have heard. The Blood Moon's Black Brothers will come here. I want you to be there. Oh, crap. Chapter 21. Is there a problem? Clark is frowning because of my shocked expression. He can ask me anything but that. Being in the same room as Nate again, I have no idea how I would handle that. But I definitely can't tell him the reason. Elena. Sorry, I mean, why do you want me there? Come on, I always take you to important events of the pack. And meeting the Blood Moon, the King's brothers is one. I want them to know the faces of my potential successors. Moon Goddess, if Clark knew I had actually had S*X with one of the King's brothers. I don't know if he would kill Nate or me first. I try to think for a second, but really, I can't tell him any valid reason for me not being there. I find myself nodding to him. All right, Clark, I'll be there. Good. And with that, he leans a quick kiss on my forehead and walks away. Gosh, what did I just agree to? I must be going crazy. Elena, let's go. Levi and Ben just joined me, and I nod before following the two brothers out. Levi puts an arm around my shoulders while talking to his younger brother, but my mind is elsewhere. I can't believe this. I just freaking agreed to be in the same room as Nathaniel. Again. Next week. This is ridiculous. I should be very composed about it, thinking this is just a meeting and nothing will happen, because this is what we agreed on. Right? You're an adult, Elena, you can stay in the same room as him and be chill about it. And it will be with lots of people, absolutely nothing will happen. Nathaniel and his brother will discuss their business with Clark, I'll probably be somewhere around, and this should be it. Let's not wander to any other thoughts until then. To try and have a change of pace, I discuss with the two brothers all the way to their parents' house. I basically grew up with the Lewis siblings, with their mom inviting me to brunch almost every Sunday. When we arrive, I can already smell the best apple pie recipe. Ben runs inside to the kitchen. Mom! We brought Elena. Oh, welcome, honey. How are you? Abigail Lewis hugs me warmly, despite being a head shorter than me. She's a petite, plump, and bright woman. The twins inherited their straight ginger hair and freckles after their mom, and she has the same blue eyes as Danny. Wearing her usual blue apron, she takes my hand and guides me to the salon. We've missed you, honey, you should come by more often. You and Danny both. Oh, and of course you're way too thin, honey. Darling, look who is here. When I walk into the main room, 4 pairs of the same green eyes turn to me, Rachel, Bonnie, and Micah, the rest of Daniel's siblings. Of course, Joseph, their father, is there too, and the first one to smile to me. Elena. I feel a big wave of warmth welcoming me. Forestalling his children, Joseph walks up to me, putting his big hands on my shoulders and giving me a kiss on my forehead. Glad to see you, Elena. Abby is right, you should come more often, sweetheart. Thanks, Joe. He gives me a warm smile in return. Joseph was the one who helped me after my parents' accident. He filled all the paperwork, waited hours with me at the hospital, and made sure I was never alone. He even helped me pay some of the medical fees and insisted on having me stay at their house for a few days, that turned into weeks, so I wouldn't be alone. He's my father's best friend and was always there when I really needed help. I love all the Louis, but Joseph's endless support is something I'll never forget. No doubt Daniel takes a lot after him. He steps aside to let his children welcome me, but winks at me before heading to the kitchen. The first one is Rachel, the energetic eldest sister, then the quiet Bonnie, Ben's twin, and finally Micah, the youngest of the 6 siblings. As usual, Micah caresses my face with his fingers instead of hugging me. I guide him to my cheeks, smiling so he can sense it. "Hi, Elena. You seem happy," he says. "I am. How are you, Micah?" "Happy that all of the family is here. And I missed your voice, you know." Micah lost almost all of his sight to a genetic disease when he was only 6. He is 17 now and got used to it. The youngest of the boys is a bit of a strange boy, but not in a wrong way. Actually, he's good at reading people, despite not being able to see them. "Is something bothering you?" he suddenly asks. "Nothing important, Micah. Sometimes I wish he wasn't so good at reading emotions." I gently grab his fingers to hold his hand instead, and Bonnie takes the other one. "Is that so? Well, Mom's cooking will probably make you feel better. Elena, tell me what you thought of the dress," suddenly asks Rachel. I forgot about that dress and Rachel's enthusiasm. I answer her endless questions while Levi starts talking with his dad, Micah, and the twins helping their mom in the kitchen. Catching up with Rachel is nice, but she's such a chatterbox. Within half an hour, I already know all her new friends' name, everything she did last week, her entire plan for next year's collection, the latest gossips of the pack and even her idea for her thrift shop event. At some point, I just let her talk and look across the room to watch Joseph and Levi exchanging. Those two really look alike. Well, Levi took almost everything after his dad. They are both a bit darker skinned than the rest of the family, and very tall with broad shoulders and lean muscles. But Levi, like Danny, has his mother's blue eyes and strawberry blonde hair, making a beautiful contrast. "Don't tell me you still have a crush on my brother?" Danny, my best friend, just walked in, wearing a simple white shirt and a pair of jeans, his hair messy as usual. At least, he shaved before coming. I take this opportunity to escape Rachel's babbling and walk to him. I only meant to welcome him, but he suddenly hugs me, like he needs it. I pat his back as I feel his face hidden in my shoulder. "Talk later?" "Yes. Please." "Okay. I know my Danny. If he's like this, he won't want questions in front of his family." Indeed, when he lets me go as nothing happened, he shows his usual smile to his dad and siblings. "There he is. Son, you should come more often." "Danny, you're late, we were starving. And Mom made mashed potatoes," says Ben. "Benjamin, stop complaining and go wash your hands." "Bonnie, Micah, you too." Abigail sends her 3 youngest away and comes to hug Danny. She pinches his cheek without warning, and Levi and I have to repress a laugh watching his helpless grimace. "What's this? Daniel Lewis, how come you are so thin? You bookworm, do you even eat at all? Thank Moon Goddess Elena is living with you, or I would come every day to feed you myself, I swear." "Mom, it hurts. And yes, I eat. Lots. Ask Elena." But she just sighs. Abigail is the typical wolf mom that always finds her children too thin no matter what. Hence, She keeps complaining about Daniel's lifestyle until we are actually seated all together for brunch. As usual, the table is full of homemade dishes Abigail and Bonnie made. I really missed their cooking. Most of it is meat, as one would expect in a werewolf family, but the Lewis mother also made every one of her children's favorite dishes, even my cinnamon rolls. I grab one as everyone starts eating loudly. Rachel and Ben are making most of the conversation, but I notice that, next to me, Daniel is unusually quiet. I give him a gentle push with my elbow, but he ignores me and just takes more coffee. He is barely eating, too. I wish we could talk already. Dad, did you hear about the Blood Moon brothers coming? Suddenly asks Levi. Everyone stops talking to look at Joseph, except for Daniel, who turns to me, suspicious. You knew? I just learned about it. Yes, Xavier is quite ecstatic about this. Why? Asks Ben. It's not like it will be any better for him. I think he wants to try and introduce Iris to one of them, sighs his mother. Poor girl. She's such a nice girl, but her dad is a bit, oh, please mom, this at the 21st century, says Rachel, rolling her eyes. She can meet and date whoever she wants. She's 20 already, and smarter than that. Next to Rachel, Bonnie nods, looking very serious. Please, not the feminist talk now. Mumbles Ben. What? Do you think women? Start Rachel, but her father interrupts her. Not now, honey, we get it. And I think your mother's right, Xavier hopes we can find some sort of alliance with the Black brothers. While they keep talking, I can feel Daniel's eyes piercing me. Tell me you're not going. Tell me you're not even thinking about it, Elena. Danny, I sort of already agreed to it. Are you kidding me? Everyone jumped at Daniel's sudden yelling. Can't he control his mind talking an actual tongue? The whole family is staring at us now. I grab his arm, trying to get him to sit down again, but instead, he grabs my hand and turns to his parents. Sorry, Elena and I need a minute of private talk. All right, honey, and with this, Daniel pulls me all the way to his father's study upstairs. How can he make us leave the table like that? And without giving a proper reason too. Moreover, why is he so angry? He closes the door behind him, and turns around, glaring at me like a mom about to scold her pup. Are you kidding me, Elena? Don't growl at me, I didn't have a choice. Clark asked me directly, and you know I can't refuse him. How would I explain it? Yeah, I guess he wouldn't like you betting one of them. I roll my eyes. Why are we even having this argument? Danny, I get it, it's bad, okay? I did it once, and I'm not going to do it again. I can't say no to the alpha, but I can just be there and do nothing. Girl, you better not do anything and be as cold as ice to him. I know this kind of guys, Elena, he'll just use you and throw you out the window when he's bored, and you don't need that kind of st. For the last time, Danny, I get it. Okay. He's still glaring at me, and I get why he's so anxious and annoyed about all this, but still. I put a hand on my waist, trying to change subjects instead. Where is Bobo? His face suddenly shifts from anger to surprise. This time, he crosses his arms and avoids my eyes, looking a bit unsure. He went back. But you'll see him again, won't you? No. What? Is he kidding me? Danny. He belongs to the Blood Moon, Elena. And as a beta, too. And guess what? He's not even gay, to begin with. What? Well, that's new. I stare at Daniel, waiting for him to tell me more. But my best friend is obviously very uncomfortable with the subject, looking everywhere but my direction to avoid this talk. This time I'm the one doing the questioning, for a change. Danny, what do you mean? He told me this morning. He never had been with a man before. He only dated girls. You know how that kind of things end, Elena. Alright, he is bisexual, so what? This won't necessarily end like you think, Danny. Bobo looked like he was very into you. I don't think this was just a test, or that he'll change his mind like that. It's not even a question of sexuality, Elena. This kind of perfect guy ends up with a girl, 2 or 3 kids, and a pretty house with a white fence. Not with a gay nerd like me. What the heck with the white fence? He is acting stupidly stubborn right now. Bobo looked like the perfect gentleman, and super in love with him too. Stop being such a chicken, Danny. I know you've had your bad experiences, okay? But this is no reason to give up on a guy like Bobo. Elena, he's not even in the right pack, to begin with. It's the freakin' blood moon we're talking about. And he's a beta, too. It's not like he can drop everything to come and cuddle with a nobody from the pale moon like me. You know what, I'm done with your excuses. This guy is the cutest, nicest you've met so far, and you are just finding excuses not to try it out with him. You don't want me with Black because the guy is not serious. I've got my shitty experiences and all, I get that. But you are an I*T for not giving his chance to boy on, I tell you. Stop dreaming, Elena. This is the blood moon we're talking about, what more do you need to know? The king's closest people. But before he can finish his sentence, Levi suddenly opens the door. Oh, moon goddess, did he hear us? Daniel's older brother looks at both of us with an angry face. If you don't want Mom to hear about your passionate lives, I would strongly suggest you tone it down. And then you can explain to me what is wrong with you too. Chapter 22. Say that again, I'll rip your head off. Damian, calm down. He is too strong. I try to hold my brother back, my arms around his waist, pushing him away with Joshua's help despite the confusion around us. But his alpha brute force is seriously no joke, we can barely contain him. The guys are shocked, some frozen by fear, others unsure what to do. Those useless. Take him away. I yell at them. How could he be so stupid? Suggesting Damian's mate might be dead. From the corner of my vision field, I see Neil, his beta, grabbing that imbecile jerk by the collar and dragging him out of the room forcefully. 2 more guys who tried to stop my brother are on the ground too, half knocked out. Damian and his strength. I put my hands on his torso, grabbing his shirt, trying to get him to look at me and calm down or at least stop struggling. Damian, stop. He was talking. Enough now. Boss, we will keep looking. I swear. Says Joshua, as desperate as me. Moon goddess, I wish Liam was there. Let me kill him. Damian, enough. I used all of my alpha strength to overpower him. At least he has to hear me now. He growls back at me, reacting to my will force and my wolf. I growl back again, annoyed at him. He's really lost it. Boss, leave us. I yell at the rest of the people present, exasperated. Most of those morons don't wait for me to ask twice before running out. I'm left with my brother, Joshua, Sean, Isaac, and Neil, in the room. Damian finally looks at me, out of breath and still trembling from anger. I use this chance to try and talk some sense into him. Damian, calm down, seriously. Enough. She will be fine. We will find her soon, I promise. All right? But please, calm down. Your aura is echoing through the roof, you're scaring me out of everyone. He keeps growling, but quieter. After a while, I let go of his shirt, as he seems in control. Finally, I leave out a deep sigh. Isaac, you fire him right away. I don't want that guy anywhere near my brother, or next time I'm really letting Damian kill him. Sure thing. Joshua and Sean, two of Damian's lieutenant, take this opportunity to try and clean a bit of the mess. Damian really went crazy. He broke some of the furniture, and there's blood on the carpet too. Joshua pushes out of the way a big chunk of wood that was part of his desk, and Neil calls the cleaning services for them to come later in the day. Damian, not giving a about the mess, stumbles and lets himself sag against the wall like his strength suddenly left him. Right when I'm about to talk, Sean, his youngest lieutenant, mind links me. He hasn't slept for a while. I growl at him. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Because he never sleeps well anyway. If that kid wasn't so devoted to my brother, I might seriously be angry at him. But I know Sean's probably one of the most worried about Damian. That punk brat looks up to him so much since we found him in the slums. He even stopped wearing his boots and piercings in the office after my brother told him to. I wished he would drop the hoodie and bright red hair too, but whatever. I don't know what to tell Damian, so I just turned to Neil. Is it arranged? He nods. Bobo came back this morning. The White Moon Alpha agreed to meet you next Friday, on their turf and on a few conditions. Nothing significant. I'll go to the West Forest. We all turn our heads to Damian, surprised to hear him. Sean frowns. We already searched, Damian, she's not, my brother growls right back at him, silencing his lieutenant in a split second. I'm not looking for her. I need something to keep myself occupied. This time, Neil is the one frowning and rolling his eyes. I bet he was hoping my brother would find his paperwork enough of an occupation. Whatever. Go punch some rogues if it can make you feel better, I sigh. It's always better than having him wreck his office or attack employees. I'll accompany you, boss. Says Joshua, enthusiast. I should ask Tanya and Bobo to go with them too. Joshua's unit of bikers tend to be overexcited about hunting or fighting, but with Neil's younger siblings in the group, they shouldn't dare to go overboard. And this way we'll have a couple of betas among them in case Damian goes nuts again. Damian gets up, and they both leave the office quickly. Before Neil follows behind them, I mind link the beta. Neil, send Bobo and Tanya with them. Understood. And with that, I'm left with Isaac and Sean. I cross my arms and lay against whatever's left of the desk with a big sigh. We need to find that girl before he really does something he might regret, I grumble. You really think she might be in the White Moon? I don't know, but we'll search every pack in Silver City if we have to. I'm so fed up with seeing Damian like this. If it weren't for our scumbag father, he would have been able to stay with his mate, even grow up with her and never lose her. He would have been spared the agony he's living now. Sean. Search the slums again. I've already, don't make me repeat myself, I growl. He sighs but leaves the room without protesting any more. I leave out a big sigh again and take out a cigarette. I put it between my lips and take out my lighter, but before I can use it, Isaac walks over and takes it from me. No smoking in the company building. TSS. I swear, the day we find that girl I'm giving a bonus to everyone. You know I'm never, ever letting you forget you said that, right? But Isaac's tone doesn't amuse me. I keep fixating the mess Damian made, unable to calm down, my inner wolf acting annoyed and restless too. Isaac notices my dark expression and frowns. What's wrong with you? As if we didn't have enough with one edgy black brother. I growl and take my cigarette away for later. I'm just tired of this. I wish we could find this girl already and be done with all that mess once and for all. Really? Because usually, when you're stressed up like that, you just go out and bed whatever woman you can find. What's wrong? You keep ignoring Narcissa's calls, too. Why do you care about Narcissa? She can be so annoying sometimes. Indeed, I haven't been returning her texts for a while, but what does she even insist? And why does Isaac care? Since you're avoiding her and your secretary does a wonderful job of that too, I'm the one she's been annoying all weekend. I don't care who you FK, but she's still one of your managers anyway, so act like an adult and talk to her. I don't feel like handling Narcissa these days. She's good at her job, but since I betted her a few times, she's been asking for more, and that's not my policy. Is it because of that blonde? Elena. I hate when he's acting nosy like that. I roll my eyes and avoid his intense stare, but Isaac knows me all too well. Really? You're still thinking of that girl from Saturday? Seriously, Nate? Shut up, I growl. She really did something to you, huh? Man, look at you, one night with her, and you don't even feel like seeing others anymore? Not even Narcissa. It pisses me off, but he's right. Only a few days have gone by, but I'm still craving for Elena's body like a dog in heat. Nothing I've experienced so far ever compares to the passionate S*X I had with her. Worse is, I don't even feel like going to other women. I could have tried, gone to anyone else for fun and tried to forget her. But since Liam came up with his stupid idea of visiting the White Moon clan, that's all I've been thinking about, haunted by the thought I might see her again. Why not? I look at Isaac, a bit lost. What do you mean? I ask. I mean it. Why not? Nothing keeps you from having a regular partner, you know. I shake my head, but, I know my mind's already yelling hell yes. No, Isaac. I don't do into long-term relationships. Oh, come on. That worked with Narcissa. It's not long-term, I just had S*X several times with Narcissa because it's convenient, she's good, and supposedly, not clingy. For that one, I really hope she only wants to talk about work and is not getting ideas. And she's from my pack, so who cares if I FK her? Elena's not one of ours. True, that's a bit problematic. But then again, one can work that out. Are you being serious right now? Language, man. I'm just mentioning a possibility. Come on, Nate, don't tell me you haven't thought about it. You're an alpha, a pack leader. The king's brother. Who would dare to say a thing about who you're seeing? He might not be wrong about that. I do have a status to do pretty much whatever I want. I don't think anyone really cares about whoever I FK anyway. They're all about Damian, and I only act as his stand-in whenever the situation calls for it. Moreover, as long as it's nothing serious, it might. I stop thinking and turn to Isaac. Why are you suddenly suggesting this? I ask, suspicious. He shrugs, untying a bit of his necktie. Well, I think you could use a bit of fun and stress relief, for one. Moreover, I'm only talking about what I can witness, and that is you being obsessed over one girl. I don't know whatever she did to you, Nate, but if it's good for you, I'm all for it. That and maybe a little bit of hope you might actually find someone that can make you change your mind about love. There we go again. Isaac and his stupid talk about love and all. I growl. I thought you understood me. I do, Nate. Doesn't mean I think you're right, though. Everyone deserves a second chance, man. I roll my eyes. What with second chances? I thought we were over that conversation already, but there he goes again, nagging me about this. Don't start preaching now, Isaac. If anything happens with Elena, or anyone else, it will be only physical. Got it? One can always hope. Oh, shut up. With this, I leave him in my brother's office, annoyed. Isaac may not get it, but this is not happening, ever. As I drive home, I finally smoke out all the stress from today. I mind-link Liam quickly too, making sure of whatever that brother of ours is doing and telling him about what happened. I really hope we can find Damian's girl sometime soon. It makes me think our upcoming visit to the White Moon again. I already find myself hoping Elena will be there. I want her still. I keep thinking about what I should do, what I should say if I meet her. Chapter 23. I just can't stop playing with my hair, so restless. I'm anxious beyond words, yet I have no idea what it is exactly. This is stupid. Levi is eyeing me intensely from across the room, but I try to do my best to ignore him. It's Friday, the big day, and Moon Goddess, everyone is on edge. About a dozen people are standing in the room, waiting. Clark is talking to his beta, Isabel, and to a couple of their lieutenants behind them. The rest of us are standing around with nothing to do. I recheck the clock. Only a few minutes left. I shouldn't be so nervous. It's nothing, just a dinner with the Black brothers, maybe a walk around our turf and that's it. I should barely have any occasion to talk to Nate, right? I check the expressions around me. Aside from our alpha, his beta, and a handful of lieutenants, there are only me, Levi, my uncle Xavier, my cousins Iris and Chris, and Clark's two godsons, Eric and Orpheus. Everyone looks serious, some impatient, some nervous. Among them, I notice my cousin Iris looks prettier than ever. Her lavender hair is styled into a complicated braid, and she is wearing a gorgeous white dress. She's even wearing a pink quartz necklace and matching earrings. I guess the rumors about my uncle wanting to introduce her to the Black brothers were true. Compared to her, my outfit is rather casual. I picked a red leather skirt and a denim shirt, the right balance between adequately dressed and not too much. I only hope I won't have to stand for much longer, those heels are killing me. Aside from us, all the guys are wearing shirts and dark pants, which I think is more than enough for a simple dinner. I mean, I do believe the whole silverware, and the large table is a bit too much, but... We finally hear a car stopping in the street, and people coming out. As they said, a few of their people are in their wolf form. Nothing alarming, though, when they come in, I realize their group is smaller than I expected. I count 5 wolves and 6 humans. Of course, I notice Nate right away, leading the group. He only walks a few steps, and I miss a heartbeat. Why did he have to look so good? He put his blonde hair back, showing off his mature traits and mesmerizing blue eyes. A magazine-worth face, handsome and attractive. He's wearing this terribly tempting white shirt again too, slightly open on his chest. Inevitably, memories of this perfectly sculpted chest under my fingers come back to me. If only he wore a necktie or something. I try to look away while Clark salutes him politely. Right behind him is his younger brother, which he introduces as Liam Black. The two brothers do have some similar features when I really look for it, but very few. Their faces look different, they stature as well. Liam's hair is pitch black, and his eyes are more of a bluish-gray. Moreover, the teenager didn't put in as much effort as Nate, wearing only a grey t-shirt and denim pants. Welcome, M. Black, to our humble turf. Your clan is very esteemed and with good reasons, M. Hamilton, thank you for having us. I know it was an abrupt request on our part, but we deeply appreciate, replies Nate with this angelic smile of his. A wolf in a sheep's clothing. Our pleasure. We are not used to having visitors, but please make yourselves comfortable. First, can I introduce my beta, Isabel? With this, Clark starts introducing the lieutenants one by one to Nathaniel and his suite. They greet and shake hands. All of this is terribly ceremonial and somewhat awkward, but everyone is going along with it. Behind Nate, no one else is talking. Only a guy behind him is smiling amiably, but everyone else is silent and expressionless so far. I stay quiet and as composed as I can. Clark introduces Xavier quickly as the Pale Moon Alpha and Iris and Chris as his children, then moves on to us. And finally, those three are my godchildren. Eric, Isabel's son, Orpheus, our most promising hunter, and Elena, our best fighter. Nice to meet you all. While saying this, Nathaniel's eyes meet Eric's, then Orpheus, and finally, mine. For a second, I feel a wave of heat rising in me. Is it me or his pupils suddenly got darker? His intense stare on me only lasts a couple of seconds, but he has this slight smile on while looking at me, and all of a sudden, I'm thrown into a turmoil of emotions. Moon Goddess, I try to hide my feelings, but I'm so shaken right now. If it wasn't for all the people surrounding us right now, I might run away. Run away from him, his tempting eyes and devilish body. But I don't say a thing and just nod politely. Ignore his eyes, Elena, just ignore it. Well, let me introduce my party. As you know, this is my younger brother, Liam. My beta, Isaac Graves. And here are three of our lieutenants, Joshua Hale, Vanessa Lockwood, and Tanya Mura. Clark politely salutes them. They have two women accompanying them as well. Both Tanya and Vanessa are obviously fighters, judging by their lean body, practical leather outfits, and serious expressions. My inner wolf is curious to see how good they are, though they appear as weaker. Tanya is beta, and Vanessa is a natural alpha. Not that I observe them more intensely, it seems everyone in their group is either beta or alpha, like us. But the king and his beta are not here, and I can tell Xavier and Clark are a bit disappointed about that. They keep chatting, some basic information about the pack's hierarchy and turf. Meanwhile, I can't help but notice Nathaniel's eyes sometimes shift from Clark to look over his shoulder, right at me. And every time, I feel my wolf reacting, like a magnetic attraction, some spell I can't help but answer to. I try to avoid his stare, but even while looking somewhere else, I feel those two blue eyes piercing a hole through me. Well, we have a nice dinner waiting for us. I don't want to brag, but we have some of the finest cooks, and I heard you were quite a gourmet, M. Black. I plead guilty. And I'm all the more curious about your cuisine, with all these cultures you have mixed here, Clark. Looks like I missed the moment when he started calling our alpha by his first name. But Clark doesn't say anything and invites everyone to sit. To our surprise, Liam Black picks the seat right next to Clark, while Nate seats at the opposite. For a few seconds, no one is sure where to seat, until that woman, Tanya, suddenly offers me the seat right next to hers. I would probably have said yes right away if it wasn't also the one right next to Nate. But everyone is watching, and I just can't say no. Trying to focus my attention on the female warrior, I sit down, and almost immediately, she starts chatting with me about fighting techniques. Apparently, Clark introducing me as the best warrior caught her attention. I'm only too happy to chat with her and do my best to ignore Nate sitting on my left. Moreover, he is talking about cuisine with Clark and doesn't seem to pay any attention to me. That's all right with me so far. The starters are served, and Nathaniel exchanges a few comments with Isabel, who did most of the cooking for today. He really is a gourmet, as he said, talking about each dish with expertise. He stays surprisingly polite and friendly towards our beta, though, complimenting her menu. I reach out my hand to help Chris serve wine around us. However, I suddenly freeze halfway. Did he just? I turn towards Nate, but he is still talking with Isabel. I swear I felt his fingers on my leg. Maybe he didn't do it voluntarily? I mean, the seats are quite close to each other. I decide to ignore what just happened and pour a few drinks. When I put down the bottle and reach for my glass, though, I feel it again. This time I know for sure. Nathaniel's fingers brushed my knee again under the tablecloth, and it can't possibly be by mistake. His whole body is turned towards Isabel. I frown. What is he playing at? There are about 20 people around this table. But as I look around, it's obvious nobody noticed. Actually, it would be hard to. The table is large and rectangular, with the dark tablecloth, and all of the seats are very close to one another. Even if Nathaniel's hand ventures under the table, it would take someone sitting directly behind us to notice, and there's nothing but a wall and an old chimney. Moon Goddess. And everyone is busy with their own conversations, too. Tanya is exchanging with one of our lieutenants facing her, and she has no idea. No one does. I take a large gulp of red wine, hoping to conceal my emotions somehow. But Nathaniel's hand come to my leg again, and I stiffen up a little, anxious. I feel his fingers gently brushing my skin, right where my skirt stops. Why did I choose to wear a skirt? I feel myself blushing, and his fingers go back and forth on my inner thigh, tracing invisible lines and making me crazy. He's barely touching me, yet I'm hot like a furnace. I want to run away, but this is also terribly electrifying. I don't even think of pushing his hand away. I bet he would if I did anything. I know I should, but I can't bring myself to do anything. His full hand is now caressing my thigh, and I just don't move an inch of my lower body. I'm so hot. I drink more wine, and suddenly catch Levi's eye. He's in a conversation with Eric, but he just looked at me naturally. What is it? Nothing. He slightly frowns, but I smile the most natural and turn towards Tanya as if I was following their conversation. Moon Goddess, after the scolding Levi gave Daniel and me, if he knew Nate is actually caressing my leg at that very moment. I did notice him frowning when I sat next to him, but Tanya was the one asking, so he couldn't possibly have said a thing. Moreover, technically Nate and I didn't exchange a word since our introductions. He resumes his conversation with Eric, and I try to blend in with Tanya and the little group discussing her. Nate has moved on to talking with Orpheus and Clark, but his hand won't leave me. Actually, his fingers are playing with the end of my skirt. I want to move badly, but I'm too afraid I would give anything away. I really shouldn't, for Moon Goddess' sake. Elena. I turn my head and realize Isabel was calling me. Sorry, Isa. I was asking if you were okay, sweetie. Is the wine too strong? You're a bit red. Oh. Isa's words suddenly bring me down to earth, and Nate's hand is gone too. I smile at her, looking a bit sorry. Can I excuse myself for a second? I want to refresh myself. Go ahead, Elena. Can you bring a new bottle on your way back? Sure, Isa. I try to control my steps and not leave the room too fast. It's so hot in there, and I need to get as far as I can from Nate and his hands. When I finally reach the bathroom, I rush to splash my face with cold water, clearing up my ideas. You stupid girl. What was I thinking? I catch my breath, looking at myself in the mirror. Calm down, Elena, calm down. But then I suddenly catch a glimpse of two electric blue eyes in that reflection. I really like that skirt. Chapter 24. What is he doing here? I turn around and walk up to him, pushing him away. Is he crazy? What are you thinking? You shouldn't be here. Don't worry, I told them I needed to get to the bathroom too, he answers me calmly. I shake my head. What kind of stupid excuse is that? This guy is way too confident and full of himself. And I hate that stupid grin of his, too. I look behind his shoulder in the doorway, but I can hear the muffled sounds of the group still discussing. Looks like nobody's paying attention to our absence, for now. Seriously, Nate, if someone sees us. He steps aside and closes the door, looking finally serious. I needed to talk to you, alone. I can't. I mean, we can't be seen together like this. You're just, but before I can finish my sentence, he steps forward, and grabs my waist, pushing me against the wall behind me. I lose my breath under his electric blue stare, as our faces get dangerously close. My whole body is tensed up by Nate's touch, burning hot already. I gasp, his lips only an inch away from mine. I can't avoid the lusty look he's giving me, I have no choice but to look at him. I want more. His 3 words make my heart skip a beat. Oh, moon goddess! Think rationally, Elena, rationally. But before I can formulate any decent thought, I feel his hand going down on my leg, and he starts whispering. I mean it. I liked it, and I know you did too. I want to take you again, Elena. And don't you say no. Why can't I? I glare at him, frustrated. The inner battle is raging inside me, and he has no idea how I'm torn right now. I try to think of Danny, and every good reason I have to refuse him. And I have a lot. I don't want to be involved with you. I can't afford it. You're from the blood moon, and I'm from the white moon. Even if this dinner is happening by some miracle, this doesn't change anything. This time, he looks angry and frowns. I don't give a FK about the Pax, or your alpha. I do whatever I want, Elena, and I don't answer to anyone about who I'm seeing. Well, you may not care but I do. If my alpha finds out about us, I may be punished or banished. Don't you realize I'm the one at risk here? His expression softens, and his hand gently caresses my back, venturing under my blouse to give me delicious chills. I can't hold a shiver, and this fever rising under my skin. Is that why you're refusing me? Do you think I would let you be banished? And your alpha? No, your clan doesn't need to know in the first place. Damn him and his overconfidence. Can't he understand the place I'm in right now? But it's even harder to oppose him when his hands are quietly caressing me at the same time, one under my top and the other on my leg, and his whole body is cornering me against the cold wall. I look for something to say, but his lips suddenly swoop on my neck, and my breathing goes more erratic under the kisses he lays there. When did he even undo my first button? I put my hand on his chest and, after a second of gathering whatever strength I have left, I push him away, forcing him to look at me. Weren't you the one who wanted a one-time thing, to begin with? You said we would be done after doing it once. One night and that was it, remember? He stays silent and expressionless for a second, and in that short while, I have the illusion he might have gone back to his senses. But all of a sudden, his hand suddenly ventures under my skirt and I gasp involuntarily, grabbing his wrist by reflex. That doesn't stop him one bit, though, as I feel his fingers venture underneath and start playing with my most vulnerable parts. He smiles upon feeling my moistness, and I blush unconditionally. Who is it that doesn't want more? I bite my lip, annoyed at him. How dare he? Of course I would be excited after he played with me like that. But he doesn't care about my frustration, and suddenly starts an intense, deep kiss. I know I should fight him off, push him and his lips, his fingers away, but I don't. My body isn't acting rationally anymore. I'm overtaken by the pleasure, the sensations this man is giving me. I hold on to him, giving up to my desire and letting him do whatever he wants. Nate just keeps going, both with his devilish kisses and fingers moving actively under my skirt. I feel my legs going numb, and my hand tensing around his wrist. I try to keep up with his intense kiss, his lips playing, his tongue flirting with mine. When he swhes from my lips to my neck, I try to catch my breath, but it's erratic and messed up by the pleasure he's giving me. Moon goddess, he is insane. I close my eyes, trying to control my voice. But I feel it coming, and soon enough, the movements of his fingers get more intense, driving me crazy. I whisper his name uncontrollably, again and again, like a quiet prayer. When I suddenly feel this familiar heatwave brutally hitting me, my whole body tenses up, and I relish in a muffled cry against his shoulder. It takes a few seconds for me to get out of this trance, and calm down. Nate supports me and my numb legs while I go back to my senses, but neither of us says a thing. I just need to catch my breath, calm down and realize what just happened. I must be crazy. Within minutes, maybe 5 or 10, I let him kick me in the bathroom. I hate you, I mutter, with a voice less angry than I would want it to sound. Is that a yes? He asks with a smirk. No to what? My question, or? I did not say yes. He sighs and helps me walk next to the bathroom sink, as I want to rinse my face, and he washes his hands. I'm still not really thinking straight, half scandalized by what happened. He crosses his arms, staring at me with a complicated expression. What would it take for you to say yes? What would it take for you to give up? I sigh. Oh please, Elena. You liked it. We both enjoy with each other, why won't you admit it? I enjoy, all right. What I don't like are all the risks that come with it. What risks? We are not going public or having anything serious. Just strangers having fun once in a while. No need to let anyone know whatever is happening between us. No strings attached, no obligations. He looks very composed and serious. I sigh. His arguments are starting to get into my head and I hate that. I have 100 reasons to say no, yet I can't bring myself to refuse him. How insane is that? I put my hair back and check my appearance in the mirror while he waits. After a while, I just leave the bathroom, him following right behind me. I walk to the wine cellar, looking for any bottle. But Nathaniel grabs one first, and comes to face me again. My whole body reacts to his proximity again, and I step back. So? He asks, finally getting impatient. Let me think about it, okay? I blurt out. He frowns, but he seems balanced about it. How long? What? I'm not as patient as I look. When will you give me an answer? Look, I'm not having this discussion in my clan's basement, okay? Give me time to think about it and, Sunday evening, dine with me. This time, I'm the one frowning, a bit surprised by his proposal. Dinner? Yes. I'll show you I can keep your privacy and we can discuss this calmly. Isn't that what you wanted? Yes, but, then it's settled. You'll be free to give me the answer you want, as long as you come to dinner with me the day after tomorrow. And with that, he turns around and leaves the cellar first. I can't believe it. When did I even agree to that idea of his? This is so frustrating. I just swallow my anger and follow behind him, trying my best to conceal the hurricane of emotions overtaking me right now. When we walk back to the main room together, Isabel spots us first. It took you a while. Crap, I don't know how long we were gone for. How do I explain this? But Nathaniel actually speaks out first, very composed. My apologies, I run into Miss Whitewood as she was going to your wine cellar and my curiosity got the best of me. Quite a nice selection you have down there. Oh, really? Well, I do have a hobby of collecting fine bottles. Do you have a preference, black? Personally, I have a soft spot for Portuguese ones. I can't believe he got away with such a lie. I'll have to remember how good he is at lying, that's for sure. I get back to my seat and decide to ignore him, hoping I don't look odd or anything. Thank Moon Goddess I checked myself in the mirror first. Aside from being a bit red on the cheeks, I should look fine. However, I notice Levi's intense stare from across the table. Was that the truth? You only showed him the cellar? Why does Levi have to be so suspicious now? I try to keep myself as composed as I can. For a second, I wonder what would happen if I told him the truth, if I told him I actually had 5 minutes of intense pleasure with Nathaniel in that tiny bathroom. Just thinking about it makes my heartbeat go faster, so I settle on an answer before it becomes too obvious. That's right. He was just acting curious about ISA's collection. Awesome. Now I'm a shameless liar as well. Chapter 25. I don't know if Levi believed me or not, but after a minute, he went back to discussing with Eric and Orpheus without adding anything. I don't even dare look towards Nathaniel's direction after that. Levi already scolded Daniel and me yesterday. He had heard a bit too much of our conversation, and neither of us felt like lying to him. After all, he was Daniel's older brother, and practically mine too. So we told the truth, or most of it, that Daniel had met and slept with Boyan, one of the Blood Moon members, and that I had S*X with Nathaniel Black. Despite the shock, Levi actually contained most of his anger, but only because the rest of the family was close. Other than that, he still gave us one hell of a scolding. Levi made use of his oldest brother voice to call us irresponsible and reckless, among other things. He was shocked that I had the nerve to willingly sleep with the king's brother, or that we even ventured outside our borders. Daniel and I didn't get to say a single word to defend ourselves, and I don't think we would have been able to give any anyway. Moreover, he reminded us what the risks were. If we were discovered to have relationships with people from the Blood Moon pack, we could get punished or worse, banished from the pack. I already knew that, of course, but hearing it from Levi's mouth, a beta close to Clark, made it even scarier. Nate, are you going to ask or what? Liam Black's voice suddenly brings me back to the present moment. Everyone else, surprised to hear the teenager's voice, stopped talking at the same time. Ask what? Next to me, Nathaniel nods and turns to Clark with a solemn expression. We came here with a motive. We are actively looking for someone on behalf of our older brother. I exchange a glance with Levi. It's exactly as I had told him. Clark frowns, a bit surprised. Do you think this someone would be in our pack? Can I ask who it is and why are you looking for them? We cannot give you our reasons. This is our brother's will. But be assured this person is not to be harmed in any way by us. Moreover, we are not in any way sure they might be in your pack, or in any other. This is so intriguing. If they have no ill intents toward this person, why are they looking so frantically? And for the king, no less? I look at our alpha, but Clark is still looking hesitant. Of course, he wouldn't be able to trust them so easily. If the person they are looking for turns out to be from our pack, who can guarantee they won't actually go back on their words and do anything they want to them? Does this mean you plan to visit all the packs? Isn't it unusual for the Blood Moon clan? Suddenly asks Isabel. Indeed, but we thought this might be our best way to deal with this. This is an important matter to our brother, and we are running out of options, says Nathaniel. That's right, both brothers look very serious about this. I wonder what's the real issue here, but they won't give more info. I see Clark hesitate a few more seconds until he sighs. All right. Who are you looking for? A young girl. She should be 17 now, with black or dark brown hair, and sapphire blue eyes. Sapphire blue eyes? This is rather unusual. So she's most likely a werewolf. Why would the king look for a young woman? Clark seems surprised. As far as I know, no one in our packs matches this description. We do have a lot of dark-haired people, but none with dark blue eyes. Most importantly, she should have a large scar on her eye. A scar? That's right. From what we know, the girl our brother is looking for is pale-skinned, with dark hair, dark blue eyes, and a scar on her eye, around 17 years old. That's as much information as we have. What about a name? Asks Isabel. But Nathaniel shakes his head. Wow, it's a lot about her physique and yet, not much to actually find someone. No wonder they are desperate. Once he's done, I see Clark's shoulders relax. Sorry, but no one from our packs matches that description, either in the White Moon or Oh Pale Moon. Especially not with that kind of scar. We thought that might be the case, says Nate. Both brothers look really disappointed. Is there anything else we can do for the king? Suddenly asks my uncle Xavier. Both Isabel and Clark glare at him. Why does he have to blurt out that kind of things? He makes us sound so desperate to please them, it's embarrassing. Liam Black considers him with disdain, and Nathaniel doesn't even respond. But my uncle doesn't even seem to realize how ridiculous he is acting, and this is really awkward now. Black, I've heard you are very invested in the catering and leisure businesses. Do you have anything interesting going on these days? Our neighborhood has a few famous places as well, have you heard of it? Wow, I'm surprised by Iris. Since when does my cousin know so much about the Black brothers' activities? Did Xavier train her or something ahead of the dinner? Her little brother Chris looks just as surprised as I am. Since we were kids, Iris has always been a discreet and reserved girl, not one to stand out. Suddenly hearing her speak out at this dinner is a bit surprising. But Nathaniel answers her, and they start having a conversation about the most popular restaurants around. Iris is polite, but I'm really taken aback by her current behavior. This is totally new, seeing her acting feminine and smart like that. Far from the reserved bookworm I've always known, she looks perfect in her element, talking with ease and smiling politely. For some unknown reason, I feel very uneasy watching the two of them exchange. Is it because, unlike Isabel, Iris is a young single woman? They talk very politely to each other, but they obviously get along fine and are having a smart and entertaining conversation. I don't feel like butting in, so I just start eating in silence, ignoring my unsettled heart. I drink a new glass of wine, scolding myself for feeling this way. Easy on the wine, kiddo. Clark is looking right at me with a frown, and I immediately put my glass down. Sorry, Clark. You're a big girl, but don't overdo it, Elena. You okay? Yeah. I even make my godfather worry for me. I look around, but Tanya is busy discussing with Eric and Chris, and Nathaniel's conversation with Iris is still going on. I can't even use the bathroom excuse to get out of here. Instead, I eat silently and suddenly decide to mind-link Daniel. What are you up to? Catching up some TV show since my flatmate is busy being a naughty girl in the wine cellar with a particular blonde black brother. Oh please, Levi already snitched to you? Yeah, and my brother is not blind nor stupid, you know. Seriously, Elena, did you FK the guy? There? Daniel Lewis, you. I have a hard time controlling my anger right now. If he were there, I would have slapped him. Even if something did happen, well, more or less, I can't believe how crude he is. No, I did not. You. What? Wait until I get home. We gotta talk. Don't get home late then. I only have half a season left. I sigh and put an end to our mind linking. This is going to be another dispute again. The rest of the dinner goes by, and suddenly learn Tanya is actually Boyan's older sister. It's a bit tricky to follow the conversation after that since she probably has no idea about her brother's sudden change of tastes. I'll need to let Danny know, though, this is such a coincidence that his sister actually attended the dinner. Suddenly, I feel something brushing my fingers on the table. I look down and realize Nathaniel just discreetly pushed a business card under my napkin. I take it quickly and take a look under the table. It's actually his business card, but he strokes the phone number to write a private one. Probably his. I take it and hide it in my skirt's pocket. We don't exchange any words. He just saw me taking it, and returned to his conversation with Iris and Clark. Why do I feel a bit better now? I try to not think about the little piece of paper and spend the rest of the dinner focused on chatting, eating, and behaving normally. My mind doesn't follow and wanders somewhere else. In the memories of a luxury suite, with a view on the city night lights and white silk sheets. I get lost in my thoughts for a while before I realize my wolf is growling internally. When I look around, I suddenly spot my uncle, Xavier, intensely glaring at me. What's wrong with him now? I ignore him, and this time, turn towards Nathaniel, talking with Isabel and Chris. My cousin catches his father's glare headed my direction and frowns. I give him a silent look, and we both ignore him to pursue our conversation. Like promised, Nate actually acts very normally towards me after that, finally allowing me to relax. We talk and enjoy the dinner, various guests joining our conversation. It's mostly business and little talk, but we can't show we are involved in any way. Anyway, Many join our discussion until the dinner ends. Around 11 p.m., the Black brothers politely decline a tour of our turf, and without too much ceremony, leave our grounds. Our group watches their cars go and ride away from our streets in silence. However, at the very second all of them are out of sight, Clark suddenly turns around and grabs Xavier by the collar, growling all his might. Everyone freaks out, and for a second, I think this is about his remarks earlier, until Clark speaks out to my uncle's terrified face. "This is the last time I ever see you glare at my goddaughter the way you did, Xavier." Moon Goddess, this is what Clark is angry about. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.